Hello, good evening, and welcome. That was fun, wasn't it?
It was fun. Those who normally see Mike in the chair, right? He's being sectioned as we speak. He's up at Derriford, right? Seeing a shrink.
You'll
asking himself, why does he do this?
You'll be very surprised, if not happy or sad, to see that Mike's not with us tonight. He's out drinking hard liquor, chasing women, and getting up to general debauchery with his work colleagues. So you've got the three of us for the next 60 minutes or so to talk long and hard about how wonderful things are, all things Plymouth Argyle. So hello. Joining us tonight evening is, as you can see underneath, two regular faces. Carl, how are you?
Yeah, over the moon, mate. Over the moon. Over the moon. Yeah, we could all be better. I thought it'd be the turning point today. It sadly wasn't, but yeah, on to next week.
And Andy?
Living the dream, mate. I've got to say that I got home quite early today after leaving the match, after a second goal went in. It was dreadful, absolutely dreadful, but I'm here to get my piece as well. So there you go.
Good. Well, I could still probably be sat in Club Argyle at the moment, waiting for the man of the match to turn up, because I left at 6 o'clock just before, and he was still not there. So they're probably still in the changing room, I would imagine, or maybe they've just slipped out the back door. Who knows? Thanks for joining us tonight, God. We've got 1,001 comments already. I'll go through some in typical Mike fashion. I don't think I'm quite as literate as he is, but there we are. Rolling with Jay, cleverly is delusional. Alex at Argyle has said it can. I know what that relates to. Let's get the meme up now, shall we? It can't go on like this, can it? It can.
It can.
It can. The absolute polar opposite of what we needed today, 100% Bree GB. Freddie Buswell, Eves. Not sure that's related to. Maybe there's further down a bit of reference to that. Come on, the Greens, can it get worse? I know why Alex at Argyle said what he did. Yes, it can. Cleverly post-match saying it started as a defensive team while we're at home. Clueless. Thought we were right the first half. Talai was acting like a toddler, having a tantrum, skying the ball. It was a good kick, actually. It went a long, long way. I was right behind it. As he got sent off for elbowing someone who cost us the game today. PFC Green Army says that. I'm not really, I don't think anyone can disagree with that. Has Mike gotten off Smeaton's tower yet?
It's possible.
It will leave a big splat if he has, and that will mean someone will have to clean it up. Somebody's completely lost the plot. Photo bombs. What's that? Cleverly should soon get called back when his wife finds out he's nobbings. Oh, I'm not going to read that. Spurious. I don't see how we improve under Tom, but I've lost faith in the board to sort it out and decisions at the end of last season. Now we have been a disaster, says Dad the Jenna. We could have a long evening here just reading these out. That was fun. Good evening. And there's a few people in. So lots of people in. Good to see you. You're going to have a bit of a B team in tonight in terms of me comparing this, because I'm not very good at it. And unless you're not in practice, then you're not in practice. But it's good to see some familiar names that are coming in. Steve, Vaughan, etc., etc. So please vent your spleen in the comments. They'll all be on show, and I'm sure we'll pick out a few. Should we start off with some positivity? Anyone want to talk about the first half?
Yeah, I can talk about the first half if you like. It could have been 2-0 before half time. You know, I'm sure they hit the post and they hit the woodwork a couple of times, haven't they, before they just scored the goal. So to limit it to 0-0 at half time was quite positive.
No, it was second half when they hit the post.
I'm sure they didn't hit the post in the first half as well. Or maybe it might be wrong anyway.
No, they didn't have a single shot in the first half. It was 11 shots to 0 at half time.
I thought Hazard pushed one onto the bar or something. Anyway, doesn't matter. But yeah, the fact that it was 0 at half time was good. We did play some good football in places. There's a lot of misplaced passes again, and I'm not going to name the name because Michael had my head on the skewer, you know. But his initials are BM, you know, and you know we've had chances to at least get off the mark today, and we just didn't take them. You know, I can't recall a decent passage of play where we actually looked dangerous. We passing the ball around nicely, yeah, but yeah, that's about
Carl?
Well, you got my sense of the feeling of the game in our little group chat.
Half
I
time,
mean,
I was more positive than you were.
I mean, no, I wasn't expecting us to start off playing like Brazil. Let's be candid. Let's be candid on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we defensively, I thought the first half we looked like we had good shape. I thought we were passing it around okay between the back four and Hazard without really putting some decent balls into the front areas. But when we did get the opportunity of getting in behind, like with Mumba and Dale, we just didn't have the quality to finish. I think Mumba, that was a prime chance for him to get one off the mark this season with that goal. But again, it just goes narrow of the post. I think if that goes in, potentially the game could have been a little bit different because we would have got the first goal and you'd have had a bit of positivity and a bit of nous then to try and maybe push for a second. But I think going into half time, what was said, I don't know. I mean, Cleverly said post match that he said basically try and keep it the same, keep the same structure. And we came out of the complete different side. Northampton got the first goal, and we just absolutely crumbled. And it just got worse and worse as the second half progressed. The players' heads dropped. They weren't really tracking back much. They were jogging around. And then obviously the whole red card with Tolai, which a disgrace. Hopefully he'll learn from that because that's really going to put us back now in the weeks ahead because we haven't got anyone else to really rely on. I don't think Aseni and Peppel are gonna get the goals like Tolai had because without his goals we really would have been rooted to the bottom. So we're going to miss him massively in the next few weeks. I don't know what the options are going forward with Aseni, whether if Ben Peppel gets himself fit as well, whether we go with them two up front as a kind of a target man and Aseni running on from Ben Peppel's hold up play. I don't know, but yeah, Tolai's got to look at himself in the mirror tonight, and that probably, I don't think that incident cost us the game, but it certainly didn't help. And we looked completely lost when he went off. Aseni did his best when he came on, but the subs again too late, and they didn't change the game. So yeah, we go into the cup game on Tuesday looking to try and get some of these injured players some minutes and go into the Bradford game.
yeah.
I thought we actually started quite positively. The team announced by Foxy in pre-game in hospitality was a 4-5-1 with kind of Bally playing a bit of a roaming role in front of Tolai, or behind Tolai rather. I actually thought we played some good stuff in the first half. I thought, there's something a bit about us. We went down the side, we went through the middle a few times. McCabe was a bit hit and miss, but when he was on the ball and moved the ball forward, I thought we moved the ball at pace. We looked with more intensity. I had a bet, which I put money in Matthews, which we were going to win 2-0 with Mumba and Tolai, and it was 10 quid and 800 quid back, 80-1. And as soon as I saw Bally go through, I grabbed my brother's arm. There it is. There's the first goal. As it left his foot, I was right behind it in the Mayflower. I was like, that's in. And then at the last 5 yards, it just go around the post. One of the things I think that we missed in the first half certainly was the second yellow, which was never given.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like today's game was a bit of a sliding doors moment. So I think if that goes inside the post, not the other side of the post, Bally gives us 1-0 up. The referee bottled his second yellow. I thought it was an atrocious, a very cynical foul, which should have been yellowed. I think if he wasn't on a yellow, he would have definitely got it, but he got one just previous. And it just goes to show because he was substituted off, I think, on the 35th minute to keep him out of trouble and keep them with 10 men on the field. So I actually went in at half time quite buoyant. I thought we were going to dominate the second half. I didn't think they had much about them at all. And then we lose concentration on a throw mid of our half, I think. And Saranola's too narrow. The ball goes whip wide. Ball comes across. And I have to say, that's some header, by the way. I don't know.
It's a great header, yeah.
Because it's behind him. He managed to get his neck. And I think Connor Hazard's wrong-footed. So he can't spring himself quickly enough, and it goes in the corner. But it is a tremendous header and a very good delivery.
I mean, that's Tom Eaves for you. You know, Tom Eaves did exactly that when he played for Gillingham at the time. We went up there and he just wiped the floor with us, mate.
He's a big lump and he's good in the air. He did his job very well. I thought he was he kept both Mitchell and Ross very much concentrated for the 90 minutes. Actually, I didn't think either of those had a very bad game, to be honest. I thought they were quite okay. But so half time went down for me a cup of tea and a beer and thought, this is all right. We'll be all right. Back up the stairs with a bit of enthusiasm. And then, the wheels completely fell off, didn't they, second half, after that first goal. And it's like someone turns a switch. We go 1-0 down, everyone goes, oh, that's it. Game over. Which is symptomatic of the last 2 years, I suppose. And I'm sure later in this hour or so, we're going to get into a wider picture than today's game against Northampton, I'm pretty sure. Just having a quick glance at the comments and how they're coming in. And keep them coming, guys, by the way, because they'll all be read out. But it was like complete capitulation. And I don't think I've ever seen a game of two halves at Home Park in living memory where we've been pretty good, kept them, a bit more quality. We win it. We go in front, 1 or 2 up. Second, and they should have been 10 men. To second half, like playing like strangers. And once you go 1 down from a good goal, everything, the shutters came down, and it was just. There was nothing there, was it? It was like
it's like they came to frustrate us, didn't they? And you could see that their play was that everyone was behind the ball, and it's like they just came here to frustrate us, and they did. And as soon as they got the goal, they just shut up shop, and that was it. And it was no way back.
Like Talai's had it week after week after week of being like pushed both. Even in the first half, I'll read some comments in a sec. But even in the first half, like the ball was in our corner, so Talai was the only man up. They're in the centre circle, and it was like they're 11-year-old. They're both like whacking each other in the shoulder. And I said, brother, what's going on there? Like he's clearly gone because both the centre backs were just winding him up all game, off the ball, pinching, grab hair, shoulder in, and he's retaliating. And I suppose TC said it in his in the club comment after the game. You've got to play on the edge, and I think Tolly does. But today, for whatever reason, I don't know if he didn't get much sleep last night, or whether he's had a bad day or whatever. But
I think he's just generally frustrated that he's the only one really with the goal threat and the only one doing the work up top. I get where the frustration is coming from, but he just needs to. He can't react. He can't react like that.
No.
I understand the frustrations in why he's done it.
Yeah, but what I suppose a little bit in me is a little bit disappointed because you've got the Devonport and the Lower Mayflower all clapping him as he come off. For basically chucking an elbow and swinging an arm, which is idiotic. Let's be honest, and cost us any inkling of getting anywhere near a result after that. The chance, I think, if we had knuckled down, there could have been a half chance and someone put it away. But he was completely lost his head, and it's a bit, I think, a little bit two-faced of the fan base. You hammer someone for having a bad day. Tolai, who's got the utter madness, and we clap him all the way around from the bottom end, block 9, pretty much. He walked from block 9 all the way past, had a little ding-dong with Kev Nolan, lost his head completely then, and then you could see that ball teed up. I have to say, he should have been at Beacon Park with that, or Beacon Park's going back, so Brickfield, that level of conversion, because he'd be from his own 22 with that. It went miles, absolutely miles. It was well over the shrubland. Some bloke was leaving with the ball in hospitality because they went out behind the thing, had it under his arm as he walked back, and I was like, "Is that Talai's ball?" He said, "Yeah, we found it halfway down the road."
Well, that might cost him another match ban. I don't know. I mean, it's already a 3-match ban, isn't it, for a straight red?
3-match straight red. Well, I spoke to a couple of the officials after the game, and they said, if it's reported, maybe not. If it's reported, they reckon it'll be a 1 to 2 game extra ban. So, worst case scenario, the 28th of December is when we see Laurent Talai again. Apart from Tuesday night, of course, which is the Virtue Trophy, so we can play that. So we may as well. Let's be honest. Okay, let's go back to some comments. This will be fun. I'm glad I'm reading these out, being the the happy clapper that I am. Stuart Jackson, it's been like watching Liverpool recently. Yeah, I can live with that. I do actually laugh at Liverpool fans though that are all crying into their cornflakes when you won the Premier League last year. I'd swap that in a heartbeat, being mid Premier League. But there we are. I think it was okay to clap him. Just out of frustration for everyone. I don't agree. I think if it had been any other player on the park, they'd have been absolutely volleyed going around that pitch for what he did. If it had been, let's imagine it had been Woradu.
Oh God, yeah.
Let's imagine it had been Apple, who would have already had some stick from the fans. You imagine them chucking the old elbow and getting sent off. It would have been carnage. We've only 2 players who are available that scored for us, I believe, this season: Boateng and Aseni. Yeah, because I think everybody else who's netted are currently injured. Bim Pepper was in Club Argyle before the game. He's on the grass from this morning. So he had a session on his own this morning with the physio. So it looks like he's days from coming back. So
I'm guessing he'll get some minutes on Tuesday, potentially then.
If he's fit,
maybe.
Yeah. If not, it will be.
But considering he's our second striker now, he's going to have to get himself fit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree. It'd be interesting to see what the choices are come next weekend. At the Jim Houston 5539 says there may be people who are available that have scored for us. I believe this is in Boateng on Sunny, so I've just said that. Jim Houston, there may be people should let themselves be thrown out. Right, okay. Streaming that would speak volumes. What's that all about? I'm not sure. Talai looked frustrated all game. He did, actually. So that's very true. Rolling with Jay. I always notice players, past and present, speak too highly of who. I'm not sure. Everything keeps moving. Argyle 83. Jim Houston. I totally agree, but unfortunately that doesn't happen. When I would get thrown out for speaking the truth if I went. He's on about the forum, I'm assuming. Sack Cleverly now. Give it to Joe Edwards and back him in January. I'll let the tumbleweed go across the screen for that comment. Anyone else think Joe Edwards would make a good manager when he's not got?
Not at the minute.
No.
We want an experienced manager.
Nance.
Klebs is not an experienced manager, mate.
No.
And we need someone with a bit of experience, and even if it's just like Adams for now, at least he knows how to manage a club, and get promotions.
Argyle 83. Adams football will be gritty and shit, but it has to be better than the clueless Klebs footy. I actually think we were gritty and shit away at Port Vale last week and got a win. So let's talk about that for a couple of minutes, right? Because I can't for a second, and I'm not happy clapping in here, and I know people will probably say I am, but Tom Cleverley and the coaching staff don't sit there and set that team up to go out and have that second half performance. I think they probably set that team up to go out and have the first half performance, and they probably did broadly what they were doing, or what they were told to do. But that second half performance, I don't think anyone can account for A, the dropping off and the sort of going to sleep to go 1-0 down. B, Tolly's frustration, sticking an elbow at someone and then hitting a conversion 60 metres into what would have been Plymouth Zoo if it had been a few years back. And then us completely going to sleep twice other times and conceding 2 really sloppy goals. Is it just that we have, and I'll open this up now for everybody to comment in, and you, the boys, where do you think this season started badly? Was it Miron going, or was it even before that, or did we not have a chance before we even kicked the ball?
No, I don't think we can blame this on Miron. I think we just had an extremely poor summer recruitment. Signing players that have got big injury records, signing players which are risks, too many youth players, not enough experience. At the time before the Cleverley appointment was probably the right call. I was torn between him and the chap that's now at Cardiff. What was his name? Barry Murphy, whatever his name is. Yeah, and he's got Cardiff flying, hasn't he? So yeah. But no, I thought at the time Cleverley was the right appointment. I just don't think he's been backed enough. That being said, I still think we have enough quality that we have brought in that should have got us some better results. At the start of the season, we lost the 4 on the bounce, didn't we? And we had Watts, Amici, Ibrahim all in the side.
Yeah. Early doors, though, I think it was literally, the pub team on a Sunday, pick a shirt out the bag. Right, okay, we'll play this formation. Out you go, because there was barely any time to get that side. Talai didn't sign, did he, until very late in the war. Go.
Some of the freebies we had at the start of the season didn't help either, because they weren't really his players, were they?
Some were, some weren't.
The development players, and he's and cleverly said himself, these are development players. Apart from probably Wiradoo, I'd say.
Yeah. I had a quick conversation with our new-to-be CEO earlier about Tom Rendell, and he didn't say very much, but you could sort of read between the lines his facial expressions, that trying to have a head of recruitment who was barely in the country, let alone knew where PL2 was never going to be the right decision.
He did confirm that he was AI, though, didn't he? Tom Rendell. He wasn't actually a real person.
Yeah, he would have been cheaper if that was the case. It would cost him about a subscription of about 93 quid a month or whatever, which would have been probably good value for money.
Oh yeah,
I'm a bit confused. Well, the squad's not good enough, is it? That's being, I'll use the other one. Let's be candid. The squad is not good enough. It isn't. It is a patchwork quilt of the last 4 managers. And then we've added on top of that some untried project players.
But our biggest outlier, other than Talai, has been Bin Pepper at 300k, and that says a lot. And we brought Talai in really late.
Yeah, absolutely.
The investment hasn't been there.
No, I think without Talai, it's a capitulating absolute disaster, isn't it? We're rock bottom with handful of points. Let's be honest. I don't think the injuries have helped either. Without sounding like a club PR representative, but I don't think they have. But the squad generally isn't good enough, is it? There's not enough quality. There's not enough experience, which is why on the Thursday night pod I picked the team with 2,893, I think, appearances between them, to try and get some kind of quality in the side. We haven't got the foot mob snaps today because Mike's not here, and we've got them, but we just don't know how to upload them because we're all absolute Luddites. But the team that was aired 4-5-1 was the same as last week, so everybody knows it. There's just so much naivety on the ball. Like Mumba today, and I'm a big pom-pom fan for Mumba, but there was one who sat in front of us second half. He tried to play a diag across to, I think, Saranola on the other pitch, missed the player, and they were gone. And we were so exposed when actually there was Galloway made a really good overlapping run down the line. It's like, just use it. I don't get some people's brains at times, whereas I think if you'd had Edwards on the pitch, if you'd had Pato on the pitch, if you'd had Rolls on the pitch, which was my team, so I'm going to blow my own trumpet for 2 seconds, those balls would not have gone. It would have been keep it in the triangle, go down, and then get it across. So I think we have to use now all our experienced players as long as we can. Pleggy's on the way back. Hopefully he gets 20, 30 minutes on Tuesday night and then looks somewhere near fittish. And it becomes a bit more of a structure, because I don't think people, if you're playing okay or if you're solid at the back, nil, the next 3 games, I don't think we'd be all that upset, would we? 3 points? Everyone else around us seems to be, win a lottery if they bought all the tickets either. So we're in that position. I think we just need to get some bloody points and get out of this before Tully comes back.
I thought his team selection today, especially with McKay in there, it's just an experience. It's just no experience for the guy. He didn't have a bad game, to be fair, but we should have had Rolls in there from the start, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been a big lover of McKay, but especially at home. I don't think we should be setting up with a CDM with inexperience at home when you're trying to be positive. I thought today was a perfect opportunity to start Rolls. Let's be honest, he's only here for a few more weeks, so how long is it going to take him to get fully fit? And he's probably going to be out the door.
I think he'll have to start against
same with Patterson. He's been fit for a few weeks and he hasn't had enough game time. He's been there and done it. I just don't understand some of the team selection at the minute. And then the biggest one with Tegan Finn. Why isn't he even on the bench? It just doesn't make any sense.
I can kind of see why you don't change a winning team.
But we've only won at Port Vale, just.
No, I get that. with 2020 hindsight, everyone says what a horrible decision. I can kind of see why he did it, but I said to my brother just 50 minutes in, I think maybe 55 minutes in, we need Rawls on now, we need Pato on now, because we're starting to make stupid decisions, and then boom, all of a sudden we go 1-0 down because we fall asleep when they've got a throw in. Everyone's lining up for a big throw in the box, and it goes short and then wide and then in a great header. And I think if those players were on the pitch, there's better organisation. I think Aaron Cusack highlighted that really well on Monday night on the analyst programme, saying about Rawls and Edwards and how they were bringing people around them into play, getting them tighter, marking space, and just generally organising the troops to become a bit more resilient. But I think we've got to go experience now. Keep the comments coming, guys. I will drop back to them in a minute. It might be an hour reading them out.
Was it a surprise that Joe Edwards didn't get any minutes, especially near the end, 20-30 minutes?
Yeah, yes and no.
Just to give a bit of belief and a bit of impetus to try and maybe try and do something, or even G up the crowd a little bit, show some passion.
I think 3-0 down, you're wasting our time. Imagine if he'd come on then and got injured when we got all these games coming up. Because the game's gone, then it's dead. We're 3-0 down, we've got 10 men, we ain't coming back. At 1-0 down, probably at the sending off, I think, yes, get your older heads on the pitch. I think Pato, Rawls and Edwards need to be in the side. Hopefully they all start on Tuesday night and can consolidate, and we can get through to the next round and whatever else comes. Just going on, so Mark, good evening, Mark. Good to see you again. Why is Hazard captain? LAH was just starting to settle in when he was dropped for Hazard. Well, I don't think we'd need Aspie de la Zeus back any time, because he likes having calamities now and again, which would cost us big time in the league. Imagine that 0-0 today, last minute, and he chucks one in the back of his net. I wouldn't have that. But Hazard as captain, he's just too far out the game, isn't he?
Well, just out of interest, what was his last game? What was Aspie de la Zeus' last
Bristol
game?
Rovers in the
Bristol Rovers, 94th minute.
Before that, he didn't do badly before that.
No, he didn't. But actually, Hazard made a really good save in the second half. He's commanding his box better. I don't think Hazard's the problem. I really don't. I mean, the 3 goals. Was he wrong-footed for the first one? Possibly, but it's a great header right in the corner. It's literally just inside the post. But you need a midfield, I think, general to be skipper. So for me, if Edwards ain't playing, I'd select Rawls and I'd stick him in as skipper. I know he's only got a short-term contract. But today, so many times I saw Boateng go back to Hazard to chat during a breakdown in play for him to get the message further up the field about what the skipper wanted, which is kind of futile in the middle of a heat of a game. You can't get in the referee's ear if you're goalkeeper, right? That's the first thing. Second thing is you've got no effect on the players around you, because unless we're getting battered, you're 60, 70 yards up the pitch or back beyond the pitch. So you need to have a midfield, I think, general. Boateng's too quiet, although he's done it. Talai is too high and he's too volatile, in my opinion, in terms of his head. Joe's the perfect skipper, but if he's not going to start Joe for whatever reason, then I'll just select Rawls. He's done Cardiff for how many years he was skipper? Get him in.
A long time.
You know what I mean? It's just
many games.
It's a challenging one. Let's go back to some comments. Steve Cooper, good evening, Steve. Win the lottery tonight, or bring in Holloway and Hardy and buy the club. Sorry, I won £2.80. I'll be close there, Steve. I reckon if
that's not actually. It was worth it, the minute.
Just on that earlier, I was leaving the ground and everyone was, Hallett's running this club into the ground. He's doing it on purpose. I'm like, look, anyone knows anything about business, right? The capital value of the club is only based on A, its revenue, and B, its league position in football. If it goes down one, he's going to lose 20+ million quid on this. So we've had a bad day at the races at home. You'd have an even worse day at the races if you thought your 20 million quid of your hard earned gone into a club is going to be pissed up the wall. So, he might not be clever, it might not be brilliant at the minute, and we might have made some horrendous decisions, but I don't think for a second Hallett's doing anything that's doing malicious or self-harm. I think he's genuinely trying to make the best decision to get the club up the leagues, because if he gets rid of it in the Championship, he'll get pretty much most of his money back. If he gets rid of it in League Two, he can kiss goodbye to a large 8-figure sum. Voodoo Luton. I'm not sure what that was. Oh, is that reference to when
Ashby Hammond is he on there?
Ashby Hammond. Yeah, was that the last game that we won away, wasn't it? He was in that game.
Good to see you, Voodoo. Play people in their positions.
Yeah, that would help. That would help massively.
Yeah, I think to play people in their positions and players.
I still don't understand the whole Owen Dale at left back or left midfield. I think Mumba and Dale need to swap first of all. And it's like recalling Joe Hatch for Huddersfield and then bringing him on at left back. I mean, why? Why even recall Joe Hatch if you're not even going to have him in the squad? It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I mean, Paul Bailey's just made a great point there. Ashby Hammond makes one mistake in a horrendous weather. Pop next playing well, then Hazard goes like a bloody colander, and he's right.
How many of those goals would you say were Hazard's fault, though?
Today?
Well, in the last 3 or 4 games. I mean, we didn't concede last week. 3 today, I'd say probably the first one you could say is wrong-footed, and he could do better.
Didn't even see the last one, so on that one.
I don't think he's got a chance. I don't. Just being honest, and he makes a very good save in the second half, tipping one over the bar when they're already 3 up, which could have been 4. It's a difficult one because you could probably sit here and till the cows come home debate every single player and every single position and go he could play instead of him.
I suppose you're only as good as the people that you've got in front of you, and if the people in front of you aren't doing their job properly, then it's going to be harder for the keeper. I get that.
Yeah.
BFC
Green Army. Where is Tegan Finn? From what we understand, fit. Available, scored 2 goals for the 18s, didn't he, in the cup?
So see, the biggest problem is if he's not being selected, he could have played for the under 18s. He's not. He's just sat there not getting any minutes, and that's not going to do his confidence any good either. We wanted them all to sign in the summer and pledge his long-term future here, and we bigged him up, and now we're not playing him. Every time he's had the opportunity in the first team, he's looked extremely good.
I think there's two parties to that. One, we're playing 4-4-2. Where you play him in the 4-4-2, you'd have to play him probably in the Ballymumba role at the moment. I don't think he's strong.
Why not? Try it. I would try it.
I'm not saying, but he's not on the bench, which I find the strangest.
But yeah,
I wouldn't necessarily have him as in the starting lineup because he's 17 and he's in a relegation scrap. But I'd certainly have him as a luxury on the bench on the spot to say, go on and change the game, son, because he could go down the right, cutting on his left, and put one in the top locker, and everyone goes, "Wow, here we go! The kid's back, and we've got 3 points out of that." So I agree, he should be in the squad. Whether he's in the start 11 or not, I think you need as much experience in that starting 11 as possible. But that's just my humble.
I think the question for me is going forward: when Pleggy is match fit, what do we do then? Do we still stick with a back 4, or do we revert back to a back 3? Who would you drop for Pleggy eventually when fit?
Zook for me. I'd have Ross in the back 4, in the back 3. Sorry,
you play back 3, would you? You play back 3, would you?
Yeah, Ross, Pleggy, and Mitchell, and then have your 2 wing backs again. I don't know.
It's hard, isn't it? I don't know what our best formation is or best team.
We tried a back 4 today and it didn't work.
No, but it did for 55 minutes, and then we fell asleep because our right back just nodded off, basically.
Just the communication. The communication is crap between the defenders at the moment. We need that leader in there.
Well, actually, it was our right midfield that fell asleep because if you think about it, Singh was playing right back and Sarano was playing right midfield. I don't dislike the 4-4-2. I think it's good. Voodoo's comment: 99% of clubs would fall into the trap of sacking TC by now. Good to see we're in the savvy 1%. Yeah, always thinking outside the box. Love that. Yeah, it's difficult. Andy 5518 PAT not being able to restart the game until Talai finished his lap of dishonour was cringeworthy stuff. Yeah, I agree with that. Lack of discipline on the field this season is embarrassing. How many reds have we got, actually? Someone will know. Steve will know, won't he?
4, at least 4.
4, is it?
So that's going to cost us now.
Well, yeah, him, Buridu, Joe Edwards.
No Talai. Who's our goal scorer?
3 reds?
Is it 3 or 4?
I'm trying to think. Buridu, Edwards, Talai. Has there been a 4th? Zooks had a red card?
Zooks and Talai. Zooks had a red card against...
he did against Blackburn Rovers.
Bristol Rovers.
Blackburn Rovers, Bristol Rovers, sorry. Can we
So
please
yeah,
have Such's long throws? They never work, and it might be worth getting the ball down and having someone to whip in across. Good point. Damien Goodall.
Benaris was doing that. Benaris came on and started doing
Yeah,
that.
but I thought Benaris actually had a good game when he came on. Him and Rolls and
Patterson.
Matthias Ross. I didn't think give up at all. I think they all played right to the end. As did Pato, actually. I thought those four were the only ones that were sort of saying irrelevant of score. We need to put on some kind of performance. At least with have the podcast, guys. Thanks for your work. Tell Austin to get to bed. Don't know who Austin is, but Austin, go to bed.
Austin, come on. You should be in bed by now,
It's
boy.
now 9 o'clock. Well past your bedtime. Go to bed. Cleverly had a red. They did. You're right. Thank you, VW Coco. You're right. That's 5 reds. 6 reds.
5 reds.
5 reds, including your manager. So that discipline is not good.
That's not bad, is it? On a ratio. Further down the comments, come on the Greens. Madness not playing. The experienced players. Team selection is a mystery. Yeah, I think that's alluding to what we were talking about 5 minutes ago. We need 8 new players in, says Rolling with Jay. Yeah, I think
Weirdo seems to be out of favour at the moment as well, didn't he? I mean, Weirdo hasn't been featuring as well, so he's out of favour as well. So, I would have had him in place of, the young lad
potentially. I wouldn't want him anywhere near the defence. I think playing in a CDM role, I would like to see that again, because in pre-season against Bristol City, I thought he had a really, really good game. And I thought we signed him as a CDM, not a centre-back.
Playing when McCabe is.
Might be wrong.
McCabe was playing. I think he's a lot more assured there, but maybe just me. I don't know.
Damien Goodall. This is going to be a divisive comment. Have the people who are calling for Nance to take charge not considered he might actually be part of the problem? ? He can't be bulletproof considering the last 2 years he's there every day. I'll say that like that because it's in capitals. Discuss.
Well, every time he stepped in, whether it was with Joe or Dewsnip, they seem to have got results. I like to see him on the touchline, giving a bit of passion, instead of someone just standing there with his arms crossed, like a certain Mr. Cleverly again today. He didn't seem to inspire any confidence or any.
First half he was okay, but when we went one down,
well, yeah. But again, if your own manager's given up on the sidelines, and you're expecting your players to do that, to show some passion when it's not coming from the sidelines, you can't stand there with your arms crossed. Just just show that you want to fight for this job and the club.
I mean, we saw that at Port Vale,
didn't we?
We saw it at Port Vale, didn't we? When we won that game at Port Vale, the scenes at the end, it was Nance running onto the pitch, giving it all, giving it all this and enjoying it. And Clev's like, "Yeah, we got the win, okay."
No, Clev's actually was probably, if you look at the tunnel cam, he was probably the most excited at full time. Yeah, he was. Yeah, certainly for the first few seconds. But again, if he's punching the air into the away end, he's going to get pelters because he's going to go, well done, we've won 1 in 7. So on that instance, you probably can't win. Like a lot of situations at the minute, no matter what happens, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
I mean, Steve Wall's just made a good comment there about 75% of the summer signings haven't even been good enough. And he's absolutely right. They've not been good enough. Someone we haven't seen, Mackenzie we haven't seen.
Yeah, I think that's we're dying for a good left back. I think Galloway's probably better in the middle. I think he's done actually pretty well at left back, but if he's a pacey winger, he is exposed.
Yeah.
But I didn't think he had a particularly bad game today either. It's 4-4-2 with some experience. I think he just let that run for 4 or 5 games and just. Well, I don't think we'll have a choice now, are we? Because we haven't got a match winner up top for at least 3 games, possibly 4. Totally agree, Carl. Body language is key. Yeah, I agree with that. It does filter to the players. I don't think it was that bad today until maybe we were 2 down. He sat down for about 5 minutes today, actually, and System was out for some time. I don't know if it was 2-0 or 3-0 down, but he certainly sat down for a good point of time. Voodoo, good point. TC, bollocking Tully for a red when he got one himself at Luton. Yeah, I kind of said that at the time. It's pretty hard to bollock the team for losing your head when you've got a red card against Luton. What do you do there? I don't know. Monkey see, monkey do. But you can't just let it ride, can you? Because I don't think anyone in the building today would have said that was acceptable behaviour by any player, let alone your striker, who's your only source of goals at the moment. That seems to be the same. So let's have 5 minutes then on what you think the rest of the month's going to look like. As painful as that might be, I don't know whether anyone wants to go and have a little bit of sick first and come back. But
Bradford at home next week.
yes, right. You've chirped up first, Andy. Now you're in the hot seat. So,
well, yeah, Bradford at home next week. Bradford are a good side, a well-organised side, just come up and doing well. I think they're going to tear us apart next week unless we're very careful. They get the first goal, it's going to be 4, 5, 6. Guarantee it. Because we just got no fight. There's no fight with the players. We go 1-0 down,
if that's the
and
case,
the heads drop.
it was hostile today at home park.
The heads drop when you go 1-0 down, the heads drop, and there's no fight. In the Schumacher team, those players would have tried to win the game and often come back into the game.
Yeah, the quality of the Schumacher squad was like country miles from there was half the time we couldn't even get Zaz in the team because he wasn't going towards the back end he was, but early doors he was in and out. We had we had a different Ballymumba than what we got today.
Whitaker scoring goals.
We had
scoring goals.
We can sit here with our rose-tinted spectacles on and say, "Oh, the good old days when Shuey, all we want." But guess what? We're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy.
Yeah, that's right. It was an elbow, Ben Collins, by the way. It wasn't a punch. It was a sly elbow, and I think the liner.
It was one of them because he was getting pulled, and he's just giving it off. Yeah. And the linesman's caught it, and that was the end of that. It was an elbow and a swinging arm, essentially. Get off me. If you're a centre forward in this professional era, expect to be. I mean, he's had his ponytail pulled no matter how many times in previous games, and he's never lost it. So back to Bradford. Are we expecting a change in formation or a change in team, apart from obviously not having Talai available? Carl?
Well, I don't think Peppel's going to be fit enough to get any minutes. He might get a few minutes on Tuesday, but obviously Aseni is going to be our main striker now for the next few weeks. Mm-hmm. Do we continue with the same formation today? No. Or like us maybe to try another maybe a 4-3-3 with Aseni, Benarous. I want to see Finn. I want to see Finn start. I want to see some flair and some quality, because he keeps saying in press conferences after games, we're lacking quality. We're lacking quality. Well, at the minute when we got players like Finn at the club, Benarous, who's meant to be technically good, Patterson's been there and done it in the champ most of his career. You got to start playing them. Not keeping them on the bench, because we keep hearing about potentially some players being unsettled. I think Derek Adams mentioned about players being unsettled.
It was TC in the press conference.
I think Derek mentioned it as well in his interview. Plus with Tom as well. So who do we think's unsettled in your opinion? At the minute, would it be someone like Ballymumba who's not getting the rub of the green? Is he missing a certain ex-manager? Is it players like Patterson who've come here, not really getting much game time? I think like Benarous.
Probably Weiradu's one, because he's had literally bad luck or bad mistake after bad luck after bad mistake, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and he seems like a bit of a mindset player, and
he's had a lot of game time. So I think we've given him the game time to show what he could do
out of the 11, because I don't think he deserves to be in the 11. But in terms of unsettled players, I think he'd be top of the list.
Yeah, I'm going to say it, because Mumba needs some bench time for me.
Well, I don't think that's going to be a thing anymore, because we've just got rid of Talai for 3 games.
Yeah, but he's dragged that shot across the box today. He's it's just not.
He's trying too hard. He's lacking severely in confidence.
He's just got the old belly back with the confidence, and he's just lost his swagger. He's lost his confidence. Hasn't he?
I think even our first year in the champ, that chance falls today to that version of Mumba, and he buries it. I think he probably takes an extra touch again and then buries it. But he was like, I've got to get my shot away. I think he could have had one more touch, and then it's in the back of the net. And I must admit, when he left his foot, I thought, well, okay, it's in, but it wasn't. You have one short question at the fans forum. What is it and who? Oh,
Good
Who's-
question.
I'm going to it, and I'm going to ask it, Voodoo. Right? I'm going to say
No, about ice buns.
Hang on, before you get excited and start blurting out questions, who's on the panel? Paul Byrne?
So we've got Paul Byrne, Simon Hallett, and
Simon Hallett and
Adams.
Derek Adams.
So I'm going to address Mr. Hallett and saying, looking at the state of the club at the moment and what a shit show it is. Sorry, hello, Sophia. And what a poor show that we're putting on.
Good change of words.
What's being done about it behind the scenes? What is actually going on? Is there going to be a change at the helm, with management? Because it is a shit show. There's no way of dressing it up.
In that. Carl?
I mean, there's so many potential questions you can ask, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, it's got to be something maybe directed at summer recruitment and the whole Folkestone Park thing. Was it a mistake in putting all of your eggs in one basket, or do we regret not putting some more money into the first team?
I say it's money spent rather, because if you looked at I know that it's capology and that's sometimes a little bit Jack and Ori, but if you look, we're 9 million quid, which is 3.5-4 million quid more than we were when we were last in League One, and we're fourth, I think, in the spending. Cardiff are up there with silly money, Huddersfield the same, Luton with their parachute, and then us. So 9 million quid in this division, you should be spending it, in my opinion, better. So, he said he's made the money available for capex, not for player budget, and I kind of agree with that. If I'll be honest, 9 million quid in this league, if you had a decent head of recruitment and a plan at the beginning of the summer, should be more than enough to at least get us in the top 10, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just we've had Tom Randall, who I think has just got a dartboard and gone blind. Buff, number 17. Who's that on my list? Right, we'll buy him. How much? I don't know. 350 grand sounds all right. Okay, next. And were a lot of these plans done? I mean, if my auntie had Dangly, she'd be my uncle. But some of these players that have brought in Pepple, in a system that was Miron Muslic, whack it down, win the second ball, high press, quick on the bounce. Does Pepple fit that?
No.
Does Aseni fit that?
No.
So it's not as if he's like, we've bought players for the Miron ball and then we're relinquished. We don't know about Mackenzie because we've never seen him play live, but and he was an early recruitment too. I think he was first in the door actually. So we don't know about him because he's kind of not put his studs on the ground yet to make an indent. So it's like, it feels like you can only play with the resources you have. That whole piece is woefully out of place. So to go back to Voodoo's point, what's the question? I think the question, Carl, that you were going to allude to was, how the hell did we sign this crocker shit, or something along those lines?
Yeah, I mean, you could direct questions, not so much about this season, about the past 2 years. The whole Rooney appointment, the Foster appointment. How did we go from Foster to Rooney? There's so many different things there. Why did we have pathetic release clauses for players? Was there any inkling that Miron was ever going to leave when we hired him? I mean, in isolation, I thought Miron was a good appointment.
I don't think anyone thought Miron wasn't a good appointment. I think everyone still thinks Miron was a good appointment. The fact is, Miron's in it for Miron, isn't he? And Schalke now, and I'm sure he'll leave Schalke the minute he gets another bigger tap on the shoulder, because he's a very ambitious and at the moment successful manager. So why not? Why wouldn't you? Yeah, thanks for that. It was 6 minutes and 23 seconds. I did time it, Voodoo.
24 seconds.
24 was it? Thank you. Yeah, it's not the recruitment. I think is the biggest driver of where we are at the moment. To be honest, because having all these project players, it's all well and good if you've got a squad that's come down that stayed. If we'd had a Bundu and a Hardy and a etc. that stayed last year,
Katic, all those players.
Yeah. I think that's one player we've severely missed, especially going down into this league, is Houghton. I thought he could have stayed and played a massive part of the season, and he's absolutely smashing it with Stevenage now. Yeah. Again, Adam Randall. I know I was never a massive fan of Randall, probably because he was playing with JB week in, week out, doing the work of two. And I'm glad he's flourishing at Bristol City. Yeah. I think most of the fans there seem to think he's their player of the season so far. So
yeah, he needs to glue the whole side together. Every time I watch Bristol City, I'm like, oh, there we go. That's what we missed. Yeah, I don't think Randall would have stayed irrespective. I don't think it was. I think he wants to play Championship football. He's young enough. He's got a lot more to offer. Would Bundu have stayed if we had done the right thing? Possibly. He's playing in the second division in Germany. But if you had 3 or 4 of those, and then you said, okay, we're going to bring in a couple of project players that we're going to buy for nothing and then sell for lots in the future, you'd say, okay, well, that's fair enough, because they'd play in the Papa John's or the Virtu, they'd play in the FA Cup, and they'd get 10, 15 minutes here and there. But to have them as the mainstay, which is what we've got, is why we're in the shit we're in my opinion.
Recruitment of Cleverly, you mean? How on earth did he impress on that interview? Probably impressed the tea lady, mate. Probably knew her name.
No, that's the wrong one, mate. That's his Manchester United colleague.
Yeah, but he's in cahoots with Rooney, isn't he?
Was anyone here at the time, because I can't remember, vehemently against appointing Tom Cleverly? Because when we did the pods and we did all the research and we had the guy on from the Watford pod and all that, I don't remember anybody going, oh, hang on a minute, there's a real problem here. We did with Rooney, and that was quite a divisive recruitment, and I think we all know why, and that ended how it ended. But Tom's diligent. He works hard. He looked like he'd played some good stuff at times at Watford. I don't think anyone went, oh well, this guy's going to be a shit show.
There wasn't really many statements or comments on social media regarding any discontent with his appointment. I think we're all generally behind it, and it's just turned out to be a complete shit show. So.
Voodoo says he's as persuasive as a sea cucumber. Sea cucumber. Voodoo, but maybe there's a chance for that to come up soon. Who knows? The original Brickbat, quite a weekend. Bundu scored for Hanover. He did.
Martiningham.
He did. Whittaker scored for a cracker for Middlesbrough to win the game. He did. But memories.
You see, this guy here, Martiningham, right? The original Brickbat. Now he's got silky skills. I've seen this boy play football. He should be up front for us.
Who's that?
The original Brickbat, Martiningham.
Oh, okay.
He's a good friend of mine, but he can play football. He looks like a young Johan Cruyff.
Does he?
Mm.
I did ask Paul Martin whether his sons can play football because they're of an age, and he said not really. I said, can we get someone to call them to lie and sign them with a ponytail and then just do a switcheroo? But he said that's probably not a good idea either. Laura Green's C59. We miss Elliot Turner.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that for a second, yeah. I mean, her injury since he left says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. Voodoo, we weren't in the interview, Gav. We sort of trust the people that were there. What fools we were. Yeah, no, absolutely. You can only, none of us were. Maybe that's a club or a Pod 9 letter to Paul Byrne moving forward. Can we have one fan representative at each interview panel? Who knows?
Ben Collins, everyone thought TC would be a good idea. Well, I thought it was a good idea until Officer Dibble came in and Top Cat ran over. There you
go. I think you're sitting here now with absolute 20/20 hindsight going, I was the one who said, because I can't remember anybody going, and we tried to be as balanced as we could when we put the live lounge together on TC, and it really was like, he had a crap back end of the season. When we spoke to some people from Watford, they were like, well, there was injuries galore and change of formation and the owners aren't very patient, blah, blah, blah. So who knows? Question for Monday says, Ava Grace 217, with the recent handling of our best youth products, does the board think that any parent would let their children remain in the academy once they reach 15?
That's a cracking question. That is a cracking question.
Very good question.
It's a very good question. Yeah. I think with the across the road from me, the infrastructure, which we won't talk about because otherwise certain members of the panel will jump out and start slating us
about flagging us off.
Yeah, exactly. I think anyone in this part of the world, if they're not going to be poached by Southampton or the like, are going to want to play in our academy because it's going to be the best academy moving forward. Whether they're going to then get a pathway into the first team, who knows? You know, we haven't seen anything of our 3 young prodigies for some weeks now, have we?
No.
Do you know, I've heard today that there might have been a little bit of not conflict, but you know, the reason that we're not winning games is because Clevs has tried some of the sort of youngsters and it hasn't worked, and so Adams has come in and said, "No, keep your experience there, get your experience in there." And maybe that's again, is this him undermining cleverly? I don't know.
Where we are at bottom of the table, I can't disagree with that. There's time for experiments, and we're really, as a fan base, sometimes we're a little bit contradictory because we say we don't want any more young managers or any experiments. Fuck off. But we're happy to go and play a 17-year-old on the right wing when we're in the middle of a relegation battle, and we're happily play a 19-year-old in the middle of midfield because he's one of ours, and we'll happily play a young striker left wing because he's one of ours. You can't have it both ways. You're either going to say, well, actually, we want experience all the way through. They'll have their time moving forward, or you say we're experimenting.
But on the flip side, we're happily playing someone else's 19-year-old at centre.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
centre mid, aren't we?
Yeah. I
Try your own.
But he's an England international at under 23s.
He's not showing it.
Squad. Our guy, probably would be comfortable in a League Two side at the minute, and probably he's never had an England cap or whatever. So there is a difference, I think, in quality. He's only going to get better. But again, you're right. Why would you, if you've got Joe Ralls who's fit, why play a 19-year-old from Middlesbrough when you could be playing a guy who's got 300, 400 plus appearances and was at 15 years at Cardiff and was their captain and played in the Premier League?
It is a decent question, though. The amount of millions we spent on Felston Park, and it looks like we're not using our own youth when they're there, when we're struggling. If we're struggling, why not give them a go? It can't be any worse. We can't fall any lower. Like I said earlier, he's called Joe Hatch because he looked promising and he likes him. He likes how he plays. Blah 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 blah. And again, he's not in the squad.
No.
He's bigging up Finn, left, right, and centre. Again, not played. Saka's been sent out on loan, hardly getting any game time for Bristol Rovers. What's the situation there with him? It's just all strange at the moment.
I don't think our coaches and officiates and managers and staff can be blamed for sending Freddie Saka to Bristol Rovers and him not getting any game time. You've got to give the guy an opportunity, and if you don't get it, that's up to him. So if you're thrust into a new team, you've got to go and earn your place, right? You can't just say, I'm from a team from the league above. I'm going to waltz in here and show you how it's all done. So I think there's, Saka's got.
I remember us talking at the start of the season that like Tegan Finn was a player who's being touted by some top Premiership clubs. We need to pin him down.
They were, Andy, but they were being touted to go and play for their academy.
Yeah. And they're still playing in the Premiership. You're still playing for a Premiership club, aren't they? And eventually,
I get that. But the converse is, would we be saying to an under-18 academy player from Man United or from Spurs, "I'll come and play for us"? No, we wouldn't. We'd be saying he's too young. So yes, the names are in lights. These big Premier League clubs. I get it, understand it, but he was never going to be playing first team football in those. He's going to be nowhere near it. He's going to be 3-4 years in the academy on a good wage, probably on a similar wage than what he's on now. Maybe a bit less, but he's not going to be playing anywhere near the first team of the Premier League. Don't fool yourself there for 1 second. The point is, we mess up the most important part of their journey, they leave, and we get no return on our investment. Yeah, I agree with that. But at the moment, we've got all those guys under contract. Tegan's got a long contract. I think it's 4 years, isn't it, or 3 years? So he's our player. I think the argument, whether it's right or wrong, is, do we chuck a 17-year-old into a relegation scrap?
If he's got the quality, yes. I think if you're old enough, and if you're good enough, you're old enough. Sorry, and every time he's come off the bench, had a chance in the Virtue Trophy, he's been absolutely brilliant. Give the boy a chance. Barney Mumba's not doing it. Owen Dale's been poor. Just play him.
Yeah, I agree with that. How many games has someone will know? How many games has Finn started this year?
I know he started a couple of the Virtue ones. Has he got a couple in a league?
Yeah.
Can't be more than 2, 3 at a push.
Yeah.
And every one of those games, he's looked impressive. He's put some really good balls into the box, and now with Tolai on fire,
started against Burton, didn't he?
That would have been perfect.
Started against Burton.
There's no one else in that squad that can put a ball in like Tegan Finn.
No. Well, yeah, consistent. Well, I would say Benarouz.
Yeah, but again, he's not playing either.
No. I agree with all of that.
Anyway, I suppose shall we play Harvey's video? I've got
let's see.
here.
It's good interlude.
Stick on Harvey.
See Harvey.
Last full time, 1-5-0 Northampton Town 3, and it was a very, very poor second half. I don't know what Tolai was doing. I think he threw an elbow in off the ball. It was probably a red. No complaints. He was picked up by the linesman. Cleverly's got to go tonight. He's got to go tonight. 1 win in the past 7. A home game where we haven't scored. And yes, that's not down to him, that's down to the players, but it's down to his coaching. This team is lacking confidence incredibly. And it's him and his coaching staff that are responsible for getting them confident, and it's not what they're doing. I thought this would be the turnaround after the win last week, coming into today, the easier of the next upcoming home games we have got, and we failed to get anything, which is again is disappointing, but we move on. Hopefully the new manager, I think we need him out now 100%. Leighton Orient Tuesday for the Virtue Trophy. I'm not going to be there. I'll be back with you Saturday, Bradford City at home. And we go again. Come on, you greens.
So one person that will be there will be you, Gav, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll come to meetings in London. Voodoo's going to be there as well, by the sounds of it.
So I hear.
Might be just 2 of us shaking hands.
Just the 2 of us.
That's right. It'd be interesting to see what side they put out. In fairness,
what would you do for Tuesday? Would you go as fully strength as you could, or would you give?
No, 100%. Yeah, I'd give fringe players a go, but I'd keep 4-4-2, and I'd say, what would you like out of a team with no pressure, or a potential team with no pressure? Because Leighton Orient, I think they won 4-1 today, didn't they? Away.
Pass.
They're in good nick. Someone will tell us in the comments. They're in good nick. They're coached well.
They won 4-0 at Burton.
4-0, was it? At where?
At Burton Albion.
At Burton. Oh, did they? Oh, wow. I remember another team winning 4-0 at Burton Albion. I can't remember who that was. Certainly want us, not the current.
We haven't seen that team for a long time.
No,
we haven't had that continuity for a long, long time now.
I think I'd give Ashby Delazouche a go in goals again, to make up for his chucking the ball in the back of the net in the rain at Bristol Rovers. I'd play a back 4. A back four of Ross and Mitchell, most definitely. I'd play Benarouz at left back, I think, and I would play Joe Edwards at right back. So that freshens that up a little bit. 4 in midfield, I would play Rolls in the middle with Boateng. I would play on the left wing, I'd play Pato. On the right wing, I'd play Owen Dale. And then in front of them, I would play... Here's where it gets difficult. The last 2, who am I playing there? I'd probably play McCabe in the front as a free roll there to get forward and pass a bit. Up top's got to be a setting in it. I don't think there's... Because you can't start chopping and changing formation now, not when you're up the shits, right? So the team need to stay and play in a pattern. It was 4-5-1 last week, or 4-4-2, 4-5-1-1, 4-4-1-1. It needs to be the same. So you've got to play the same system. You've got to freshen up the personnel, and you'd have to play a Senny up top when you. And although he's not officially suspended yet, I'd leave Talai on the bench to see if we were nearing a goal to get through, because you'd have to give the lad at least 60 minutes to try and get himself used to what the job he's going to do on Saturday at home to Bradford. So that would be my team, I think.
Andy, your team?
Do you know what? I can't even think about it. I really can't think about it. My mind is like so fried with today's performance. I don't know. I wouldn't choose anything. I'll put the youth side in. Just have done with it. Now,
sorry, I wouldn't play McCabe. I'd play Finn behind. I'd play Tegan Finn behind.
There we go. That's more like
Ashby,
it.
Ashby
I
Hammond and Gold.
forgot after our recent conflict. I forgot about Finn. Yeah, I'd play Finn behind Aseni.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably go for Ashby Hammond and goal. I'm just not sure about this back four though. If you're going to go back forward, then I'd go for the same back four that you went with. Midfield, I'd always bring Wiridu back into midfield and give him a run. What's he got to lose? He might just have the game of his life and score.
I would like to see the guy back in midfield again. We've only seen him once there, and that's when he had his best game for us. Yes, it was against Bristol City. Yes, it was in pre-season, but I thought he looked impressive. He's not a defender.
Would you play Rolls and Wiridu in the middle?
I would give them two a go. Why not? It's a game where we can experiment.
Yep.
We'll have Owen Dale up on the right, and then have Benarouz on the left, and then up front we'll have.
You're not playing Benarouz at left back then, because you said same back four.
Oh yeah, hang on. Yeah, sorry, he was at left back. Who's Owen Dale and who was at the left? I don't know. I mean,
you could play Pato in front of Aseni, and then play Finn on the right and on the right.
Pato and Dale, and then.
Well, I'm going to go right out there. I'm going to go for Aseni and Joe Hatch up front. Tegan Finn on the right, Wiridu, and Rolls in midfield, Pato on the left, and it's probably the same back four as you, Gav, with Ashby Hammond in goal. But I think you need to give the youth a go. Finn has to start. I think Hatch has been brought back for 4 minutes, so give the guy another shot in the Virtue Trophy.
Nicholas G's got it right. Bring on the woman.
Why not?
You couldn't do any worse.
Or bring on the woman. Yeah, play the woman.
Yeah.
Why not? Can't be any worse, can it?
Their form and their confidence is sky high at the minute. They've lost.
We need to transfer this to the main team, don't we? Even the youngsters are doing the same. They're getting results. It just seems to be the first team that aren't.
Andy DX9D says Benarouz is no left back, but at the moment he's the only left back cover we've got. The other, just to make things really happy out there, the other interesting fact is that we're going to lose Brendan Galloway after the Bradford game for 4 games. Who says I play Finn and sack Rachel Reeves? Once again, Voodoo's just not happy about feeding starving kids.
He's not happy because he's got an electric car.
Yeah, right. He's probably got a fleet of electric cars. The Maserati electric car is probably the most expensive. Benarouz, I would agree with you. I think he's played left midfield would be or further up the pitch, but when we've got no left backs available,
just got no option, have we? Again, this has been the problem all season. We've been chopping and changing the team. There's been no continuity, no.
I think
regular.
we need to keep a shape. I think we need, if we're going to play 4-5-1 or 4-4-2, we've got to stay with it, because then people know their jobs when they come in. Blah blah blah. And until Amichi's fit and we got a bit of confidence, it's absolutely pointless. It shows how badly we're playing when we're giving the Virtue Trophy airtime. How bloody far we've fallen. Ruby and me, 7425. You are bang on the money.
We could win now. We could actually win that game. Give us some confidence.
The last time we were in the Virtue Cup, I think we gave it like 35 seconds of our time. It was like, oh yeah, we're playing the Virtue this week. Who's going to pick? I don't know. Maybe Burton will be in goal. Move on next. Now it's like, let's have a real long debate about who the hell's going to start in the Virtue Trophy. Bringing LAH in for one game is not going to help consistency. Nobody cares about Orient. Relegation fears are far more important.
I think, to be fair, we haven't had it all season, mate. So what's the difference?
That's probably a good point from Andrew as well. If you don't have a left back, don't play a back four. Revert to a back three. Yeah. Have your wing backs, like Andy was trying to say, potentially. Yeah. Once Pleggy, Mitchell, and Ross.
Pleggy, Mitchell, and Ross.
Your wing backs is Benarouz, Joe Edwards, potentially.
Yeah, but then you're flipping again. It's like, how many times are we going to flip flop? It's like,
until you find the right formula, because
then you win one game. We won 4-4-2. We won one game. Maybe you win one game on Tuesday night against, Leighton Orient's under 8s, and you go, we play 3 at the back. We're really good, right? And then we go into Saturday and got battered again by Bradford. Or 3 at the back don't work, so we have to now go out of back 4. There's got to come a time in it where you just put. I think I said this in a live lounge a few weeks ago. I think you've got to pick a formation and pick your best team in that formation and say, have 4 or 5 games. Obviously without Talai now, which is going to be challenging. But Finch should at least be on the bench, says Dad the Janner. I agree. I
At
think
least. At least.
Does Kevin Nolan still think we'll finish in the top half?
Oh, the one thing that surprised me with Kev Nolan today, sacked in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Started bleating from them, and then obviously the Devonport joined in. Did you see Kevin Nolan's response to his own fan base?
No.
No. And he stood there for a good 2 minutes going, no, stop. Which, for me,
He's a
I had
good
a
manager.
respect for that. I thought, well, there's the managers' union stepping in, saying we don't do that as a club. But yeah, they started singing it. Devonport started singing it. Zoo Corner started singing it. The granny behind me in the last row of the
Started singing it.
started singing it. She lost her teeth as they came out in Rose XY. Yeah, he was like, no. He did that for quite a couple of minutes until they stopped, and then of course it didn't matter because the Devonport carried on singing it. But does Kevin Nolan think we'll still finish top half? I don't know. Do I think we'll still finish top half? I think we'll finish mid-table.
Well, that's what Cleverly's saying in his presser in the full press conference. He's saying still about mid-table. So I can't see it personally at the moment. I think we're in a relegation scrap, and give me 19th, 18th position, and I'll snap your hands off.
Just an interesting one, right? If we had started with Caleb Watson, and I know if my auntie had a cock, she'd be my uncle, but if we had Caleb Watson and Amici available today,
And
right?
Pleggy, yeah.
And Pleggy in that formation, that side for, let's say, Owen Dale for Amici, Pleggy for Such, and Watts for Mumba, would we have lost that game? Answers on a postcard.
It's hard to look at in isolation because the confidence is so low and the form has been awful. Would we have created more? Yes. Would we have probably scored more goals? Probably. Would we have won the game? I don't know.
If that chance falls,
I'm starting to sound a bit like you, Gav.
No. But if that chance falls to an out of conference Mumba, does Amici put it away?
Yeah, I would say so.
Right,
given the chance, yeah.
So it doesn't matter who the coach is going to be, and I think that's up for the club to make that decision. I think nearly 95% of the poll here thinks that TC's probably run his course. I'm kind of agnostic at the minute. I don't think it matters who's coaching the team. But you get some of those key players back, and we're a different animal. We're a different beast. It's just my point. Paul Bailey, no chance of mid-table. We are dreaming. I don't think so. Not with that quality coming back into the side and with the transfer window. This league's pretty dire, isn't it? I know we're absolutely toilet.
I've not really seen many teams play us off the park, to be honest. A lot of poor teams.
Other than that,
Cardiff were obviously pretty impressive, but we were diabolical
Cardiff away,
in that game,
which you and I suffered together on the terraces, and Bolton are the only two teams I'm thinking they're pretty good. Everyone else, I haven't seen it.
No, we're just making teams look a bit better than what they actually are.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Andrew Tix90, if we sign Messi, we'd still have lost that game. Messi's legs are gone, so you're probably right. He wouldn't have liked that. Nowhere near like that coldness anyway. Not playing in Saudi when it's still 35 out there at the minute, when it's in the middle of winter. I sent a million on Voodoo on Tuesday night. Thank you very much. I look forward to that. We should just have dinner, Voodoo, and not go to the game. That might be a bit more of an effective evening. And waste the 12 quid or whatever it is for the ticket. Right, we've got a long bit on now, chaps.
An hour and 10 minutes is probably it, I reckon, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think we're going to be rehashing everything again.
No, I agree. The league is gash says a lot how poor we are. I agree. Come on, the Greens. What about Wirradu and Rails? Maybe take Boateng out for a game. We just discussed that earlier. Jana, 6 games now. We haven't scored it this season in over a third of our games. Thanks, Stevie Vaughan. Stato comes to the rescue, or not, as the case may be. Pound out shit we are. Okay, there'll be a live lounge Thursday night, I believe. I'll do the general mic thing, or else you'll shout at me later on the text. If you like our ranting and our nonsense, please subscribe on all major channels, especially YouTube, isn't it, boys? Is that the
YouTube?
Yeah, we've got to push that one a bit more.
Yeah, subscribe to YouTube, guys.
And any closing thoughts, like Judge Rinder? Andy, you can start.
Just want to go to bed, mate. I've just had enough of the crap show that I've been watching for the last sort of few weeks with Argyle. But now it's the only way is up. That's all you can say, isn't it? Really, it's because or down. You could go down, I suppose. But yeah, I'm not very optimistic. I just hope that he's gone by the end of the week, tomorrow, in other words, and that we get a manager in who can actually manage a club and get players motivated and playing. But yeah, it's a shit show. Sorry. So, how are you feeling tonight, guys? Just being real.
Yeah, we're probably feeling the same like Andy. I think we're all obviously when the rumours, if they were rumours or just bullshit, I don't know, circulating tonight that he was potentially gonna to hand his notice in and walk. I thought we were all quite excited by that prospect. I think it needs to happen. I think if we lose again on Tuesday, but he'll still be in a dugout for Bradford probably again. I believe is that one on telly as well on Sky.
Yeah, we're live on Sky 12:30.
So if we put in another stink of a performance in front of the whole nation and get slashed 3 or 4-0, then I'm sorry, you cannot keep persevering for weeks on end until we get to January where we could be 8, 9, 12 points adrift.
Yeah.
Even if you bring in some good players, that's a hell of a lot of points to claw back. And your dressing room is going to be lost by January if it's not already. You could see in the second half players have stopped playing for him.
Do you think it will be in the dugout for Tuesday night?
No. I think so.
You think he will?
I think it'll be for Bradford as well, regardless of the result on Tuesday.
Well,
that's my gut feeling.
We get absolutely tanked on Tuesday night, in which case that might be the. Nicholas G says, "Go to the church tomorrow and pray." I don't know what for.
I think it's past praying, mate. It's past praying.
Yeah, well,
resurrection. I tell you that, mate.
Resurrection.
But something just to lighten the mood slightly. And I hope you don't mind me saying, but I bumped into Matt Kimberley earlier, who was on the commercial team at Argyle and is now head of commercial at Exeter City, that team up the road. They're
never heard of them.
In the shit. The fans trust have just had to give another 800,000 quid across, and apparently they've had to go cap in hand to HMRC. James, by the way, Matt didn't tell me this. By the way, just to say categorically, I've heard this from other people. Matt said they've had some financial problems. Yeah, there's some celebration, but another person told me that they've had to go to HMRC cap in hand and say we've got some problems and you need to help us. So I think. Let's be honest, maybe they'll go into administration and lose 10 points in the next few weeks. That might make us all feel a little bit better. And we jump a place in the league. Maybe it's our only way out.
Again, pigs might fly.
So I did say to Matt, maybe you should get a bucket and go around Club Argyle with a red bucket wearing his Exeter scarf saying, dig deep for the Exeter club. But I said he might not get much money. There we go. That's
there's going to be more of this coming at the weekend, mate. Don't you worry.
Yeah, exactly. Steve has just said Bradford is the team that TC supports. It's his own team. That could be interesting. Is there a time scale on with the last few bits? Is there a time scale return for Watts? Yes, it's January. The original brickbat. So yes, it is. There was a statement that no money in January. Well, I don't think there's any money at the end of the month for wages, or there probably will be now because it's just put 800k in from the fans trust. Matty H44. So maybe we'll jump a place in the league in the next few days as they look to appoint administrators. Who knows? That might be nice. Just about to watch the highlights on ITV. I need to watch the penalty and sending off again. You're an absolute glutton for punishment and sadomasochistic. I wouldn't be anywhere near that if I were you. Right, we're going to wrap up, guys. It's been a pleasure, I have to say. Or maybe a chore. I think it was a chore watching it, a pleasure talking and interacting with you lot. We'll see you Thursday night. I probably won't be here because I'm going to be in London still, but the boys will be here, no doubt, to talk about the events of the week and talking about a 3-4-0 win away at Leyton Orient in the Virtu Trophy. Have a good evening. Hopefully don't get too drunk. Hard liquor isn't the answer, let me tell you.
I know a good counsellor, all right, if you want to talk football.
A good counsellor. In the words of a certain ex-TV host, take care of yourselves and each other.
Be safe.
Good night.